This next story is one of those stories that stretches the limits of the English language to appropriately describe what has taken place. Donald Trump wrote a letter to Turkish President Erdogan about the entire fiasco going on in northern Syria with the Kurds and Trump pulling U.S. troops there. And the letter was released, but it is such a crazy letter that it seemed like a fake letter, because what Donald Trump says in it, and we'll look at it in a second, is a combination of childish and ludicrous to a degree that makes it almost impossible to believe. And as a result, yesterday, when the letter was released, it took a while to catch on many news outlets and to be reported on widely because it looks like it has to be a fake letter. We're going to look at it, but understand that many media outlets hesitated to report on this because it seems when you read it almost impossible that this would really be a letter from an American president to another world leader. But it is, and it appears that the explanation for it being so wacky is that Donald Trump wrote it himself, and that's, of course, the problem. Let's take a look at it. The letter is from October 9th. It has now been released, and it says, from Trump to Erdogan, "Dear Mr. President, let's work out a good deal. You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy, and I will. I've already given you a little sample with respect to Pastor Brunson. I have worked hard to solve some of your problems. Don't let the world down. You can make a great deal. General Mazloum is willing to negotiate with you, and he is willing to make concessions that they would never have made in the past. I am confidentially enclosing a copy of his letter to me, just received. History will look upon you favorably if you get this done the right and humane way. It will look upon you forever as the devil if good things don't happen. Don't be a tough guy. Don't be a fool. I will call you later. Sincerely, Donald Trump." It reads like what The Onion would publish or what Saturday Night Live would have fake Trump, played by Alec Baldwin, read as a pretend letter from Trump to a world leader. But this is actually what Trump wrote. It took multiple sources, by the way, before I started considering that it might be real. After seeing friends of mine post it on Facebook, I thought it was a joke that was going around. When we use the term the debasing and coarsening of the discourse, we're not just talking about lunatic Trumpists who don't understand how to talk about political issues. We're also talking about how Trump talks to world leaders, this letter now becoming Exhibit A. The BBC is now reporting that Erdogan, quote, put the letter in the bin when he received it. Translated from British English, he threw it into the trash and ignored it. This is a letter that in total is, I mean, what do we call it? There are people calling it clinically insane, but that doesn't seem to capture it, and we don't want to stigmatize mental illness. Others are once again talking about cognitive decline. Others are saying it's narcissism personified. The funniest or scariest thing about all of this is that this actually seems like a letter Trump wrote himself rather than having someone else write it. And this is what you end up with. And even more shocking is that Trump released this. Trump thinks this letter makes him look good. He's proud of this letter. This is like when he put out that bogus summary of the Ukraine call thinking this vindicates me. Everybody else looks at it and realizes, wait a second, this is incriminating. This is an incriminating document. Trump's biggest claim to fame is that he can negotiate, that he can make deals. And he writes a letter that looks like what you would write in third grade if the teacher says, okay, everybody, today we're going to write a pretend letter to a president of another country. This is what Republican voters, at least tens of millions of them, think is the art of the deal and a big, tough negotiator. But there's another thing out there. As I told you, Erdogan threw the letter out and then bombed the hell out of the Kurds in northern Syria. We knew it was a problem that Putin has Trump by the balls. But Trump is so weak that the Turkish president is simply ignoring Trump and doing whatever he wants. Remember when Trumpists told us under Trump the United States is going to be respected again? He threw the letter in the trash and did the opposite of what Donald Trump seemed to be telling him to do. It's an embarrassing state of affairs for the United States. Let me know what you thought when you read the letter. Leave a reply if you're watching on YouTube. Send me a tweet at @dpakman if you are listening or watching elsewhere. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at @dpakman. Follow the show while you're there as well, @David Pakman Show. Today's program is sponsored in part by Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you've not already heard about Blinkist, it's amazing. It's an app for your phone, tablet, or web browser. And what they do is they take nonfiction books, popular nonfiction, critically acclaimed nonfiction. They condense the book into a 15-minute audiobook. You get all the most important information and insights from each book, but you can soak up the entire essence of the book in one sitting. I've listened to a ton of books on Blinkist. One recent one is Robert Reich's new book, The Common Good. Also Bunk by Kevin Young, useful in preparing me for the pseudoscience miniseries that we're producing. And if you are a David Pakman Show viewer or listener, you can get a 7-day free trial by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you're watching on YouTube, use the link in the video description. After the free trial, if you like it, you can get the full access to thousands of condensed audiobooks for about $5 a month. That's BLINKIST.com/PAKMAN.